Hello everyone, Revive and 5 time again. Hope you're having a great day. Let's jump right into the Word. Perhaps one of these historical events that Jesus did that's not talked about that much, but I want to jump into this. It's in Luke chapter 7. I love the book of Luke, written by the only Gentile writer in Scripture. But Luke chapter 7 verse 11 through 17 says this. Soon afterward, he, Jesus, went to a town called Nain. Actually, Nain is still a city in Israel today. And his disciples and a great crowd went with him. As he drew near to the gate of the town, behold, a man who had died was being carried out, the only son of his mother, and she was a widow, and a considerable crowd from the town was with her. Remember all that. I love all this that'll bring out here. Verse 13, and when the Lord saw her, he had compassion on her and said to her, do not weep. Then he came up and touched the bier, the coffin, and the bearer stood still. And he said, young man, I say to you, arise. And in the Greek, that's actually in the passive tense. In other words, the young man wasn't arising. Jesus was arising him. He was raising him up. Verse 15, and the dead man sat up and began to speak, and Jesus gave him to his mother. Fear seized them all, and they glorified God, saying, a great prophet has arisen among us, and God has visited his people. And this report about him spread through the whole of Judea and all the surrounding country. What you have here is you have a great crowd following Jesus. Now, this is after Jesus has done several miracles, and people are just following him to see what he will do next. And then you have this great crowd, many people coming with this widow, all these mourners, and on this bier, as the scripture says, it's an open coffin that is in the Jewish custom. They carried to the cemetery because all the cemeteries were out of the town. That was part of the custom. And what happened is, and you have to understand, it's just like when the woman with the issue of blood touched Jesus. It's just like when Jesus went and raised Jairus' daughter. In the Levitical laws, in the book of Leviticus, in the book of Numbers, a priest, a person, a regular layperson for that matter, they could not touch a dead corpse. If they did, they were unclean for 7 days. And you have to study that out to know why. Because death is the end result of sin. Death is the end result of the fruit of sin. And so in God's law, you couldn't touch death. You could not do that. But Jesus walked up to the coffin, up to the bier, and the young man came alive. So here's what you had. You had life on this little path outside the city of Nain, coming up, meeting death on this little path just outside of the city of beautiful Nain. And when life met death, life won. You see, that's what Scripture is teaching us here, is that anytime death comes in contact with Jesus, Jesus is always the victor. If you study out Scripture, what you will find is that no one ever died in the presence of Jesus. No one ever died. In fact, several people who had died came alive when Jesus come onto the scene. But here's the thing I want you to always get, and that is that whatever areas of your life you are feeling that you're being destroyed in, that you're being robbed in, that something is destroying you, that death is trying to overtake areas in your life, if you meet Jesus on the path of life, I'm telling you, life will take over. You will have life and life abundant. So next time you're having a problem, you just remember that the beautiful thing is this, the city of beauty, Nain. That when you meet Jesus, in whatever situation that is, he will say, arise, come alive in that area. Have life and life abundant. Because that's what he does every time that death tries to overtake you. Amen. So you have a good day, and just remember that he saves you in all areas of your life. He loves you today, and he will take care of you. And he's just telling you, to arise in whatever area you're having a problem with. Amen. Have a great day.